Hey! Today's video I'm going to be talking about my experience with dimethyltryptamine, and I want to preface the video by saying when I was about 12 years old I fell down a rabbit hole on YouTube about dimethyltryptamine, and I really enjoyed watching and listening to trip reports and people talking about their experience with this substance. So I gained a lot of knowledge about it, kind of based on other people's way of taking it and experiencing it, and I kind of understood how to ingest it. And that is information that I carried with me. Now, like few years down the line, maybe I was like 15 or 16, I found out about pranayama, which is breathing basically, and there are breathing exercises that you can do to produce a lot of dimethyltryptamine. So dimethyltryptamine is a chemical that is naturally produced in our brain. We experience it in the womb, we experience it when we are being birthed, and when we die, and when we dream. It's like really dream like, it's other dimensional. I don't really know how to explain it properly. I don't know any like scientific knowledge about this. It's more of how I feel, I guess, what I've learned through my experience with dimethyltryptamine naturally. So when I would breathe, I would experience all these different types of colors, and it would shoot me into another dimension, because that's what dimethyltryptamine does. I don't know, it's like a spirit molecule. It's something that is so connected to the source that flows through us, and we can tap into that. So I started producing DMT naturally on my own, like kind of like forcing, I want to say forcing, but using my own supply to get high, pretty much. And it works really well. If you just want to breathe, you can activate it. And I could do a video about like what type of breathing exercises I do in order to like get high. But it also like feels really good, and I see a lot of messages during this practice, and it is very calming. Like it shoots me out of my body. So, okay, anyways, coming back to my experience with actually like smoking DMT. This is my trip report. Okay, yeah. I had been offered DMT multiple times, and because of all of the research like I did when I was 12 years old, I was like, no, I don't want to take this because it's not the right time. And I knew that I wanted to have an experience where I broke through, which is not something that a lot of people experience their first time smoking it. And I also wanted to be in the right setting, right? So a couple weeks ago, it was presented to me in a setting that was ideal. We were sitting around the fire. This was probably like 11 a.m., around noon. I was camping with my friends for a while. We were at this beautiful campsite, and we had a really good group of people there. I felt really safe around them, and we're sitting around the fire, just like hanging out, making music. Everybody's like playing their instruments and just in the present moment. We're just kind of relaxing, and they're passing around the pipe, and they're like, oh, like there's DMT in it. And I was like, wow, like this might be the moment that I smoke DMT. And so as they're passing this pipe around the fire, there's maybe like 6 of us like sitting around the fire, and then a few more people just kind of like around. And they're passing it, and they're pass it to me, and I already had remembered that you're supposed to inhale as deep as you can, and you're supposed to hit it like once and just like take as much smoke as you possibly can and hold it in. So that is what I did, and like as I'm lighting it and hitting the bowl, and like I think it was already lit. So I was just like, like watching the embers burn, and he's like, okay, like hold it in as long as you can. And then I like passed the pipe to the person next to me, and I come to my center. So I just, yeah, I come to my center in a meditation, I should say, and I hit it and I try to hold it in as much as I can, but I cough and I'm like, oh my god, I just coughed all of it out. But I didn't. So I inhale again, I try to hold my breath, and I'm just like in my center, really like internally, and I can feel it like hitting my pineal gland or whatever it does. And then I like blast the fuck out of my body. And I go to that place that I have seen before when I've just activated my own DMT with no external substance. It's just me, and this time around I had the assistance of the pipe with the stuff in it, you know, and it like literally like blasted me off. I felt so much relief in that moment. And what I saw, my eyes were closed, and it was just such an internal experience. Like, I don't know how else to explain it other than it was just, it returned me to that source feeling of bliss and feeling of oneness, and like all just pure love. And I was smiling and like crying, like tears of joy, like as my eyes are closed. And all I could feel is like, I have been here before and I have felt this feeling before. And all I could like do was be like, wow, like I know how to achieve this feeling. Like this is just like what we are at our core. And what I saw was this like beautiful mandala of like a flower of life or something, just like all of these shapes, mostly like circles, like very feminine shapes. I should draw it or something because I can't really explain it. And the colors were very warm. It was like oranges, yellows, like a tone of like very warm colors. And all of these shapes like formed into like a man, like a human. And it wasn't me, it was like God, but it was all of us, and it was me. But it was like the creator, but it formed into a human. And it just, everything made so much sense. And I was still aware, I was still like present, but I was out there for a few seconds. And then I felt so much relief and relaxation, deep relaxation, that I decided to pee my pants because I had to pee so bad. And I just like was so relaxed that it wasn't an accident or anything. Like I decided to like let myself pee my pants because oh my god, it felt so good. It was so, oh my goodness, like so relieving and just like warm, and it just felt so fucking good to let that go. And like I just like melted further and further, and I was kind of like in and out of it for I don't know how long, like a few minutes. And as I was coming down like into my body again, I was like guided by this serpent. It was like I don't know, I was like guided back down by this green and blue, it all was like, looked like pixels, but very high quality, and they weren't square. They were more so round, like flower petals. And yeah, so this like serpent being caught, it was like pixelated and like guided me down back to earth, and it was kind of like a dragon, like with wings, and it was very, very good. It was like a sorcerer, I think the term would match that. And it just like took me to back down to earth and was like, you're so safe here. And like as I began to like I would open my eyes for a second and then like come back down, and I was like laying down at this point. I think I just like laid down in the dirt, and I just like, every time I would open my eyes, the people around me were just like holding this space for me. And I don't even really know if they knew like how deep I was in it, if it was like obvious or not. And I remember opening my eyes, and like my friend Matthew was like right next to me, and he was playing some instrument, and I just like opened my eyes and I saw the sun coming through the trees and the smoke from the fire illuminated in the rays of the sun, and he was just like sitting over me like a protector. And I just like looked across the fire, and I like saw my friend Noah sitting there, and he was like looking at me, and it was just like the sun was like shining right on him, and I just felt so safe in that moment. Like everyone was holding this space for me, and I was like free to just relax, and I was so grateful. I just kept smiling and like laying there in bliss, like oh my gosh. And I just remember feeling this immense warmness. It just felt like a warm hug, and I was so satisfied and so happy and just so calm. And I feel like the entire experience was like it was just so perfect, and it just showed me what I already know. And that's kind of how I feel with every time I take a substance. It just shows me what I already know, and that I do not need that substance to achieve that level of consciousness, and I know how to get there without it. And I'm so grateful for everyone who was there, because that plays into the experience that we had. And so when I was actually like in the peak of my experience, time doesn't exist there. It doesn't exist here either, but it felt like I was just like there forever, and it was the best feeling ever. And it's not something I crave to like do again, and I'm sure it will come into my field when, you know, the time is right and I want to sit with the medicine again. But it's not like an addictive thing where I'm like, I have to smoke DMT. Like I have no desire to really like touch it again for the time being, because I was able to fully receive it, and I was able to like break through. And like when I was hitting that bowl, like I just remember thinking like, I'm about to blast the fuck out of my body. Like I was so ready for it, and I had been ready for years, like literally like manifesting this for like over 10 years, that like this DMT experience. And so to be able to see it was what I already knew it was gonna be, which was crazy. And it was just so fucking magnificent. I really need to like make a drawing about what I saw. And I just kept thinking about, after was integrating the experience, like I don't know, then later that day or whatever, I kept thinking about this lyric from Illuminati Congo. He has one of these songs where he was like, I hit the DMT and it all made sense, how I experience eternity in this instant. And then like here's another line about like, I saw the face of God and geometry is a man. And I was like, holy fuck, like I literally, like that is like so real. Like I saw the face of God and geometry is a man. Like I actually saw that, like how I explained earlier. And it makes me think like, do we all have the same experience there? Like is it this place just like, DMT is freaking crazy, guys. And I do remember watching these other trip report videos where they were all so similar. And it's just proof to me that these places are not like an individual experience. We're like currently all there at the same time. And I think like the people that abuse the substances like don't really see it for what it is. And if we're actually like open to receiving the truth, then we'll be shown that. And like I don't know if people have like scary experiences, like it has to do with your stability in like has to do with what you are already and what you embody. And if you're embodying like fear, then that's probably going to be reflected in your experience. Yeah, so I'm super grateful for the person that facilitated the medicine to me. His name is Blue, and he's fucking divine man. I love him. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. That was probably it. And I hope this makes sense. And yeah, I was like a little nervous to film this because I haven't really talked at all today, so I wasn't really in the flow. But I think we got it. And I'll probably make more videos talking about this same experience, but just like from different aspects. And yeah, let me know what else you want to hear me talk about. I love making videos and I love sharing my experiences, and I appreciate every single person that cares to tune into what I have to say and like engage with me and share your side of it. And yeah, I love you.